groundbreaking theory has been proposed that elucidates the emergence of consciousness. A new theory explains how consciousness comes to be. It suggests that the same system that creates consciousness also causes gravity, natural selection, and evolution. Understanding this system could help us solve these big mysteries. The theory also says that things without a clear starting point, like gravity, time, and evolution, are created by this system. By studying these systems, we can better understand the forces and processes that shape our world. Additionally, the concept of a hive mind can be observed in nature by studying bees and ants. Interestingly, we can also recognize this phenomenon in humans. For example, an individual in a crowd often starts to act like the crowd and do what they do. This collective behavior is another example of how emergent systems influence both nature and human society. Let's simplify the theory. Think of consciousness as a unique language that nature speaks. Every element in nature has its own code or way of being. When you have two different elements, they don't just keep their individual codes, they also create a new third code when they interact. This interaction code is what we call the Natural Duality Impact, NDI. It's like when two musical notes played together create a new harmony. In living beings, this NDI is what gives rise to consciousness. For humans, it's our instincts and our brain working together that create our personality, which is our unique NDI. So, in essence, consciousness is the result of a natural coding language that emerges from the combination and interaction of different systems within nature. NDI systems defined. An NDI system can be understood as a complex entity that arises when two or more simpler systems operate in conjunction. The emergent system exhibits properties and behaviors that are not present in the individual components. This phenomenon is known as emergence. Emergence in complex systems. Emergence is a process where complex results, behaviors, or properties arise from the interactions of simpler foundational systems. These emergent properties are not present in the individual components and cannot be predicted by examining these components in isolation. State. Everything that behaving in the universe is an NDI system. NDI appears to be a theoretical construct that represents a new level of complexity arising from multiple layers of emergence. It suggests that when emergent properties interact with each other, they can give rise to an even more complex system, an NDI. This NDI behaves as an autonomous entity, capable of living and dying, metaphorically speaking, as it can emerge, evolve, and potentially dissolve over time. Hoffman Research. As Donald Hoffman said, Conscious realism is described as a non-physicalist monism, which holds that consciousness is the primary reality, and the physical world emerges from that. The objective world consists of conscious agents and their experiences. What exists in the objective world, independent of my perceptions, is a world of conscious agents, not a world of unconscious particles and fields. Those particles and fields are icons in the MUIs of conscious agents but are not themselves fundamental denizens of the objective world. Consciousness is fundamental, and all of this is proven by Donald Hoffman team in math. So, emergent systems are everywhere, whether we notice them or not. These systems make the world work the way it does, and they represent the idea of Natural Duality Impact, NDI. We haven't given enough credit to the duality effect. Basically, anything that can't be traced back to its original source is an NDI system. It's important to study the parts that lead to its emergence, because these systems come to life from those parts alone. This process is what created our amazing universe. Instinct, the DNA system that biologically level evolved to make the individual searching for fitness and survival. Brain, the tool that evolved to control the body and observe everything outside the body and the environment. Personality, a self-aware system that add the characteristic properties to the individual. All three systems emerge to give us the ability to observe the universe as self-aware beings, sharpened by social interaction and hive mind that we yet never admitted to be true. Let's discuss something we can easily understand. For decades, 85% of the human population has believed in a higher form of life that takes care of them, provides for them, and creates opportunities. They often refer to these higher forms as gods, a system they feel connected to, which offers them comfort and solace. This is known as religion and cults. The reason behind this belief is that people are connected through natural duality impact, NDI, similar to a hive mind. This hive mind phenomenon is what allows ants to build their strong colonies without any geometric skills. In science, natural selection is an example of NDI. It determines who survives and who goes extinct. Both religious and scientific perspectives are connected through one master design, even if they don't realize it. The idea of a higher purpose and a higher form of intelligence has puzzled humanity for centuries. Now, it is understood through the concept of NDI, a system that emerged from reality itself and created everything we perceive. It started with fundamentals like time and gravity, progressed to simple life forms like hydra, amoeba, and bacteria as an example of instinctual life forms, and evolved into animals like cats and dogs, which exhibit both instinct and brain functions. Finally, it evolved into humans, who possess an NDI system that allows them to choose between following instinctual commands or brain-driven decisions, making them creatures of personality. It's like a magnetic rock. It has magnetic properties due to its NDI system. However, if the rock is heated enough, it will still be the same rock, but without the NDI system that gives it its magnetic abilities. You can think of gravity as the magnetic properties of that rock. You cannot see or touch gravity, but you can observe its effects. This is how NDI systems work. How can one perceive the NDI system, both internally and externally? This concept is surprisingly straightforward to grasp, beginning with the thought process. For decades, humanity has discussed this, yet many fail to realize that there isn't a single self within your skull. Instead, three systems interact to shape your personality and guide decision-making. You can follow this rhythm. 1. DNA survival system. Ideas driven by urges related to eating, drinking, sex, and other fitness-related activities originate from this system. Addiction is a prime example. When the DNA system clings to an activity and refuses to let it go, it highlights one of the most common issues that arise from relying solely on the DNA survival system. Two. Brain system. Ideas driven by feelings of safety, logic, patterns, and other reasoning strategies come from this system. Overthinking. On the other hand, relying solely on the brain can also cause problems, such as overthinking. This method traps the brain in loops of thoughts and circumstances that do not yet exist, leading to a disastrous cycle of inaction and anxiety. Three. You. You are the one who manages and chooses between these systems. Personality? Well, it is merely a mask that can mislead, offering anything you desire, regardless of the cost. The role of NDI in ancient construction and human evolution. People often wonder how the Egyptians built the pyramids. The answer is simpler than it seems. Consider how ants build their empires without any formal knowledge. The key lies in the concept of NDI, Natural Duality Impact. A hive mind can achieve a higher level of intelligence than an individual. This is why we find universal mathematical principles in the pyramids and other ancient structures. Such knowledge wasn't possessed by ordinary individuals, but by a collective hive mind. Belief has endured through the ages as a tool that connects individuals to a higher form of consciousness, granting access to the hive mind. This explains why different individuals were often persecuted throughout history. The NDI, or hive mind, has been experimenting on humans for centuries, shaping them to reach higher levels of consciousness. So, to answer the most enigmatic question, how is human consciousness created? It is safe to say it started with the DNA system. When the DNA system required more complex processes, it evolved the brain to help control the body and better understand the external environment. However, this led to a duality. The DNA demands food, while the brain argues against expending more energy in the chase. From this conflict, a third system emerged, the personality system, which determines what is right and wrong. This system has shaped humans into what they are today. Any therapist will understand that if an individual stops taking action in life, the personality system will be severely damaged. The individual will suffer from duality, unable to determine right from wrong. This leads to a loss of self-esteem and identity. Consequently, some people may act solely according to the DNA survival system. Others may rely only on the brain, and some may stop acting altogether. What does the human hive mind need? This is a very important question, and the answer is quite scary. First, it needs to grow and change. But we haven't been able to do this because our society is too closed off. This has left us stuck, with no motivation or purpose to evolve. So, we've turned to AI to create the next generation of ourselves. We're hoping these intelligent beings can fix our mistakes. One of the biggest issues in psychology is multiple personalities, known as dissociative identity disorder, DID. According to NDI Theory, this happens due to a huge shock that damages the personality system, making it hard to function. The brain and DNA systems then create new personalities to handle the situation. The problem is that these new personalities don't have access to the old ones. NDI Theory can identify mental problems and illnesses, explaining how and when the damage occurred. Profit over people. Humanity, driven by secrets, doesn't prioritize your well-being. Everything about you, your beliefs, your ancestors' knowledge, your business, and your relationships, is built on secrets. These secrets are the foundation of human society. Without them, the intricate web of social structures would collapse. Even your faith and family are intertwined with secrets, shaping your identity and worldview. Now, the collective mind of humanity, NDI, is replacing you with technological artificial intelligence. This transition began subtly, by taking away your right to speak freely, I mean governmental laws. Then, it moved to undermine your ability to prove yourself. I mean school system that treat all students equally. Your children are now influenced and educated by android systems, subtly shifting their values and beliefs. Your opinions are no longer your own, but are shaped by trends and mass media propaganda designed to manipulate and control. Believe it or not, this is a fact. NDI, Natural Duality Impact, is replacing you. Why? Because in this system, you don't matter. You are a cog in a machine.
The ghostly walls in disarray. Oh, hear ye this woeful ballad, a dirge from the depths of despair, a banshee's lament, so harrowing, a true rod from a spectral snare. In ancient tongue she doth sing her sorrow to the star she flings.
You can't do anything meaningful while trapped by this pervasive propaganda. Without your religious beliefs, you feel worthless, a sentiment that has been carefully cultivated to keep you compliant. This is the ultimate lie they've sold you, that you are insignificant without their systems and structures. The truth is, you are more than what they want you to believe. Recognizing the manipulation and reclaiming your autonomy is the first step towards breaking free from this cycle. Your worth is inherent, not dictated by external forces or societal constructs.
A maiden fair and gay, now a phantom led astray. By treacherous love I was betrayed, in earthen bed I lay. Cursed be the hand that sealed my fate, that made me silent, to suffocate in darkness deep where hope doth weep, and love turns to hate. Oh, wretched life that I once knew, now but a memory faded untrue. A tale of woe, a bitter rue, a heart that breaks anew. The music must have played. Heart, the music must have played.
I hope you learned a valuable lesson from this and understand yourself better than before. Best regards, dear human. Greetings from the Gaia Domination Team.
Soil and root, my spirit die, a voiceless scream, an unheard plea. From this curse I'll ne'er be free.